Unmute. All right, it's okay. Some technical problem, it's okay. It's okay. All right. So basically, I'm going to share something like today we are going to share what is locus of control, right? Locus of control is something that inbuilt in us. It just that we don't know and we didn't notice or we didn't come across the term is something called locus of control. As I go further, then you will have an understanding that, yeah, actually I have this. Oh, the term is called locus of control, right? So if you ask me, what is locus of control? Then locus of control can be inborn or it developed over our childhood when we grown up. Inborn is very straightforward. It's just like you're born with it, right? But what do I mean by it developed during our childhood? It's just that if you when you are young, when you do things is successful and people praise you, give you confirmation, give you affirmation, then your self confidence is developed, then you tend to believe that, oh, I have the ability to do it. This is how your internal locus of control is formed and is developed. In contrast, external locus of control, if during your young time or your grown-up period, whatever you've done, unfortunately is not successful and people is decreasing, devalue you, people discourage you, people tell you that, oh, no, you can't do it. And then from that, you will develop a belief that, no matter how hard I try, it's pointless. People will have their say, no matter how hard I try, it just depends on luck. I don't have luck to get it right. So this is how we develop our external locus of control during our childhood time. All right. So just to recap, internal locus of control or external locus of control is formed by inbuilt, we are born with it, or we learn through our childhood experience. All right. So now let's take a deeper look on what is locus of control. Locus of control is the extent to which you feel you have control over events that impact your life. And there are two types of locus of control, namely internal locus of control and external locus of control, as I mentioned earlier. According to a psychologist by the name of Rota in 1954, back then, the term locus of control refers to how much control a person feels they have in their own behavior. A person can either have an internal locus of control or an external locus of control. And very commonly, internal locus of control is often used as the same meaning as self-determination or self-efficacy. Put it simple. If you believe that you have control over what happens, you have what psychologists refer to as an internal locus of control. If you believe that you have no control over what happens and that external variables are to blame, then you have what is known as external locus of control. I hope this is a very simple idea, all right? So people with high internal locus of control perceive themselves as having a great deal of personal control over their behavior and are therefore, these people are more likely to take responsibility, to take charge, to make their choice for the way they behave. All right. For example, I did well on the exam because I revised extremely hard. In contrast, a person with high external control will perceive their behavior as being a result of external influences such as luck. I did well on the test because it was easy. Compared to the internal locus of control, this guy will say it's easy, it's luck, it's just that, God bless it, that, it comes, the question is easy. So in short, locus of control refers to an individual's perceptions about the underlying main causes of events in his or her life. Sound complicated? Let me make it short and more simplified for you. All right. This is in a more simplified form is, do you believe that your destiny is controlled by yourself or by external forces such as fate, God, or powerful others? Simple as that. All right. So this is whatever that I mentioned just now is for generally applied to everyone. So I think many out there who are students listening to me. So let's look at specifically, your identity as a student. what is the locus control have to say in education, all right? In education, locus of control typically refers to how students perceive the causes of their academic success or failure in university, right? Students with an internal locus of control generally believe that their success or failure is a result of the effort and hard work they invest in their education. In another hand, students with an external locus of control would generally believe that their successes or failures result from external factors beyond their control, such as luck, fate, circumstances, injustice, bias, or teachers or lecturers who are unfair, prejudiced, and unskilled. Do you get what I mean? Or is this message reflecting to you? No, which one are you? Right, next, let's continue to see, yeah? So in education, internals are also considered more likely to work hard in order to learn, progress, and succeed, while externals are more likely to believe that working hard is pointless because someone or something else is treating them unfairly or holding them back. Students with an external locus of control may also believe that their accomplishments will not be acknowledged or their effort will not result in success. So which one are you? Right. Give you a more concrete example, yeah? Students with internal locus of control might blame poor grades on their failure to study. This is internal locus of control. I didn't score well because I didn't study hard enough. I didn't put more attention. I didn't focus in class. It's all internally I, all right? So whereas students with external locus of control, they may blame an unfair teacher or test for their poor performance. For external one, if you're external one, you will tend to say, oh, I have studied so well, it's just too bad. My luck is so bad that, whatever I spot, it didn't come out. Or, this teacher don't like me, this lecturer don't like me, this lecturer pinpoint on me, things like that. That's why my grade is not good. So that is the difference between internal and external. I hope you have some idea up to now, yeah? So like I say, we have two types of locus of control. Now we're going to look in the characteristic of those two, yeah? So what are the two types of locus of control? The following, I'm going to share the characteristic of people with a dominant internal or external locus of control. As you can see, internal locus of control, for those who have this, they are more likely to take responsibility for their actions, tend to be less influenced by the opinions of others. They usually have a strong sense of self-efficacy and self-determination. They tend to work hard to achieve the things they want. They feel confident in the face of challenges, and they tend to be physically healthier, report being happier and more independent, often achieve greater success, right? So let's take a look on the external locus of control. All right, these people with this characteristic, they will blame outside forces for their circumstances. Everything not me. Everything is outside. No, others people fault. Often credit luck or chance for any successes. I make it because, luck lah, I'm so lucky. Instead of saying that I put hard work. You see, they don't believe that they can change their situation through their own efforts. Okay? No matter how hard I try, lecturer don't like me means don't like me. No matter how I try, I won't get good grades. You see? Frequently feel hopeless and powerless in the face of difficult situations because there is not inner strength. There's lack of inner strength in that. Okay, are more prone to experiencing learned helplessness, meaning that no matter how I try, I couldn't make it. No matter how I try, that's going to be like that. Okay, that's what this slide is trying to tell, all right? So, do you have a more internal or external of control? After I'm saying all these things, to make you have a better understanding, I'm going to list a few statements for you. See, you pick the statement that best apply to you, all right? Let's see, yeah? Characteristic of an external locus of control. For these people, they will usually say, I often feel that I have little control over my life and what happens to me. People rarely get what they deserve. It isn't worth setting goals or making plans because too many things can happen that are outside out of my control. Life is a game of chance. Individuals have little influence over the events of the world. All right. So if the statement above best reflect your view of life, then you probably tend to have an external locus of control. Okay. You can screenshot this, for your future reference if you need. Yeah. Now, the characteristic of an internal locus of control, the same thing. If the statement best reflect you, then you have something called internal locus of control. Let's see. If you work hard and you commit yourself to a goal, you can achieve anything. There is no such thing as fate or destiny. If you study hard and are well prepared, you can do well on exams. Luck has little to do with success. It's mostly a matter of dedications and effort. In the long run, people tend to get what they deserve in life. Is this your statement? Are this statement reflect to what you will? If yes, then you have something called internal locus of control. So, in other hand, just to share, just to share. Personally, I am someone who has internal locus of control, but moderate. What does it mean by moderate? Okay, for me, I'm likely seeing my future as being in my own hands. Okay, as a result, I engage in activities that will improve my situations. I work hard to develop my knowledge, skills, and abilities, and I take note of information that I can use to create positive outcomes. Having a moderate rather than strong internal locus of control may make me more able to accept situations that I can't influence and to manage them effectively when they arise. What does this mean? So after doing this internal locus control assessment, actually for those who out there, if you are interested to know about which type of locus of control are you can step into SGU. We are able to help you assess your type of locus of control, okay? So come back to me. Okay, I'm a moderate internal locus of control, meaning that I know my future is in my hand. I know I can create my future. I know I have the power to do it. But moderate makes me more acceptance that, no matter how hard I try already, but things are not working to the directions that I want, I will tend to, say, okay, it's God's will. I'm the type of person, I do my best and let God do the rest. And this explains my moderate level. You see, to a certain extent, I will say I've tried so hard already. I pushed so hard, yet I cannot penetrate, I cannot reach the directions that I want. Then I will say, okay, I've tried and it's God's will. That things happen for a reason and happen for good. So that's how moderates mean now. Okay, so for someone who has strong one, then they won't have this kind of thinking. They will say, I cannot do it. Why I cannot do it? I should have been able to do it. That is the strong internal locus of control. So that is the difference. All right. So what if you identify with both types of locus of control after you do the assessment? No worries, because there are people with both type, okay? While some people may strictly identify with a single type of locus of control, most people may identify with a little bit of both. It's possible to mostly have an internal locus of control while still believing that some things are up to chance. Something like me, I'm having a moderate. Moderate, that means I have to a certain extent, I do have external locus of control in me. So my assessment, the result of my have clearly explained why if people for both, if they have both. All right. So now, this is something very interesting. Why is it important to understand your own locus of control? Okay, Our locus of control influences, it's important to understand our own locus of control because our locus of control influences our response to events in our lives and our motivation to take action. All right? Meaning what? If you believe that you hold the keys to your fate, you are more likely to change your situation when needed. Conversely, if you think that the outcome is out of your hands, you may be less likely to work toward change. That is why it's important to know your locus of control so that you know where do you stand and what makes you, do that and not doing this. Huh? That's the importance of this. Secondly, okay, experts found that in general, people with internal locus of control tend to be better off. However, it's also important to remember that internal locus of control does not always equal to good, and external locus of control does not always equal to bad. What I'm trying to say here, it doesn't mean that let's say if you do the assessment and you find yourselves to be internal locus of control, it doesn't mean that it's all bad. Internal locus of control has their good point as well, and over external also have the consequences as well. So later I'll give you one example to elaborate further. Okay, next, the purpose for us to understand, it is important for us to know our locus of control because it's able to help us to understand our own control when we understand what motivates our action. Okay, the purpose for us to understand our own locus of control is when we understand what motivates our actions. That is very important. Okay, so let's say I said I will give you one example, right? Okay, for example, why did I say that, when you have strong external, it does not mean that it's really good. And if you have internal locus of control, it does not mean that it's bad. Because although some researchers claim that person with internal locus of control can be better off than external, but internals can be psychologically unhealthy and unstable too. And internal orientation usually needs to be matched by competence, self-efficacy, and opportunities so that the person is able to successfully experience the sense of personal control and responsibility. Overly internal people who lack competence, efficacy, and opportunity, they become neurotic, anxious, and depressed. In contrast, external can lead easygoing, relaxed, and happy lives. Do you understand the example that I read out to you just now? Meaning that, in short, okay, for those who have internal, a very strong internal, if they don't have opportunity, if the things don't get succeeded, they will have self-blame. All right, and they will become neurotic, they will become anxious, and become depressed because they can't perform. So in another hand, if you have external, I put you same in the same activating event, in the same consequences, same situation, those external one will chillax only. They can easy go in, they can relax and happy lives and say that, oh, it's luck lah, next time I try again. So through this example, we can see there is no good or bad. We need to get neutral of it lah, basically. All right. So, hence, this is what is meant by internal locus of control does not always equal good, and external locus of control does not always equal bad. Okay. The purpose for us to understand our own locus of control is when we understand what motivates our actions. It's easier to create a plan of action to get where we want to go and change the way how we perceive things. Your locus control can have a major impact in your life, from how you cope with stress to your motivation to take charge of your life. This is what I say. It can use back the same example that I said just now. You see, you have major in how you cope with stress. If you're internal person and things are not going to the direction you want, so how you want to cope with your stress? You know that you're somebody internally, confidence, things like that. But sometimes things just don't work out. So you must know how to regulate your stress, how you want to cope your stress, how you want to think out of the box, to do things. And for internal, for external, it's the same. Things don't happen. You cannot be always saying that, oh, just luck, 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 and not putting any self-effort. Have you pushed hard enough? Have you tried hard enough? No, by knowing your internal locus of control or external locus of control, it actually makes you know where you stand. You can analyze, if things don't happen, you can analyze where do you stand, what driving you to this. Then you can make certain adjustment. So to be a better person, to have better outcome. All right. So in many cases, having an internal locus of control can be good thing. It means that you believe that your own action have an impact. You have self-confidence. You believe that you can do it. And if you tend to have more of an external locus of control, you might find it helpful to start actively trying to change how you view situation and events. This is the whole idea of why is it important to understand your own locus of control. It's a very simple idea, right? And the importance is all listed here. You can screenshot if you want. All right. So like what I said just now, no good or bad, you are inborn with it. Your childhood experience have molded you who you are, have constructed who you are. But today, after learning this, you will have a better understanding, why are you acting that way? It's simply because something called locus of control in you, which previously you don't know. And after listening to today's talk, you will have a better understanding. Oh, yeah, why I've always, contribute to external forces every time when I feel. Should I look inwardly? Have I tried hard enough? Have I pushed hard enough? What should I do? Rather than always say, contribute all the external forces, put the blames to others instead of me. And if you are strong or overly external, then maybe you need to have some mercy to yourself and see. Sometimes things just don't work the way that we want. All right, so we need to juggle between two. I think that's all for today. If you need to if you want to know what type of locus of control are you, can come to SGU, all right, and stay tuned for our next week health talk. I'm Sharon from SGU. Salam sejahtera. And don't remember to claim your score run, yeah? My colleague will put up the score run from soon, and please. Okay, now since that I have some time, I have comments from Visha. Visha, thanks for commenting. Madam, I used to be internal. After many failures, now I change into external. That's very good. I think you pay a very hard lesson to change, yeah? Keep up the good job, Visha. Good job. All right. So let me put up this for you. Hold on, yeah. Okay. I have put up the score run already. So please fill up your score run to claim it. So stay tuned for our next health talk. Hope you have a good day and blessed day. Bye for now.